Okay, you have your grid drawing done now. Now your next step is you're going to transfer it onto a piece of colored paper, and you're going to put the lead all over the back, put it on really thick, then you're going to tape it down to your paper. Remember, tape it on one side, and also remember the way to get the tape so it doesn't rip your paper is to put it on your clothes first. Then you're going to go over all the lines, and that will transfer it onto your colored paper. Then you're going to cut it out. When you cut it out, it is very important to turn the paper, not the scissors. Turn the paper, not the scissors. So if you want to keep that elbow, you want to keep your elbow in tight, and you're just going to go around the edges of your object. Once you lift your elbow up, then you lose your hand-eye coordination. So move the paper, not the scissors. And you're going to cut out the shape. I'm going to make sure that the drawing is really clear. Oh, I left out a part. I forgot to tell you that I also went over all of these lines with a black colored pencil. So that step is next. We're going to cover it with the black colored pencil. Then you're going to cut it out and get as close to the edges as you can. Notice I didn't cut that little tail out. That's a skinny little piece. I'm going to come back and do that the very last thing because I don't want it to rip. And when I've got little areas that are kind of hard to get to, I will cut into them. If you accidentally cut a piece off that you didn't mean to, just get your tape out and tape it on the back. It won't hurt anything. It'll be fine. Get as close as possible. Okay. I'm going to come back and finish that in a little bit. Alright, then we're also going to make a vase out of paper, a vase silhouette. So these are typical Greek vases, Greek pottery. The calyx in the middle, that one might be a little bit challenging. You're going to choose a vase to create, and it needs to be big enough that you can put your image on it, and the calyx, that might be a little bit tricky. So you're going to choose one of these forms. Make sure you're careful with all your little pieces. Make sure you keep those in your portfolio so you don't lose those. I'm going to give you a piece of black paper. You're going to fold that black paper in half, and you are going to draw on half of it. I will give you a white colored pencil. Where did I put my white colored pencil that I just had? Okay, so you have your white colored pencil and a black piece of paper. Fold it in half. If you're doing the calyx, that's long ways. If you're doing the calyx, then you should fold it in half this direction. I'm going to do one of these pieces here. So I'm only going to draw half of this, then I'm going to cut it out. I'm going to do this one. So I'm going to start at the top. I know I've got a horizontal line at the top, and then a curved line coming in. There's another curved line that goes out here. And remember, if you have to erase, it's not a big deal, y'all. That's part of the process. Erasing is all part of it. You've done nothing wrong unless you don't learn from your mistakes. Now I want to make sure that this is wide enough that I can put that piece on there. Okay. No biggie if you make a mistake, just erase it. Try to make that vase as tall as you can on that piece of paper. Okay, so I have half of it drawn on. Now I'm going to cut it out while it's still folded in half so that when I open it up, I'm going to have a symmetrical vase. Oh, I forgot something on here. This has a handle. It only has a handle on one side. You could choose to put a handle on both sides. I'm going to go ahead and put the handle on, and then I can come back later and just cut out this handle and not the handle on the other side. Or I could leave both handles on. Not a big deal. Okay, again, you want to remember, turn the paper, not the scissors. Turn the paper, not the scissors. It's kind of awkward to get used to, but the results are much, much better. And when I have an awkward angle, I'm going to come at it from a different direction. Try to work smarter, not harder. Okay. And then when I have an interior space like this, I'm going to fold it, make a little cut, and then I can get in there and cut that out. Now because I need to know where this edge is, it's probably better if I cut these both out at the same time. So fold it back. I'm going to cut everything before I unfold it. Take your time, be patient, make sure you have nice clean lines. That was kind of risky what I just did when I pulled that off. That was kind of risky. You know what? Don't do that. I almost messed up there. Okay. Now here's my vase. So now I'm going to take my image. I have another example of a vase here. It's a different type of vase, a little bit wider. Now I'm going to take my image and I'm going to glue it on here. So now I'm going to go ahead and finish cutting that little bitty piece out there. I want to wait until I'm ready to glue it on before I cut that out. I could have cut out more of this. But that little piece there, that's what's fragile. Because it's so thin, it's going to rip. If you have a little bit of the colored paper outside of the lines, if it's consistent and it's a clean line, it'll still look good. Okay, so then I'm going to put my piece on my pottery. I'm going to use a glue stick. And I want to be careful about this tail, but if something ripped off, you would just glue it back into place. Just fix it when you glue it onto the piece of pottery. Okay, so then I'm going to put the glue stick on, and it works best if I push from the center out with the glue stick. From the center out. Then I put on my little Greek figure. Ta-da! Make sure that you have your name on the back. Use the white colored pencil. Make sure that you have your first and last name and your hour. Always, always, always first and last name and hour. Alrighty.